Hi guys, can you all hear me okay? Yep. Excellent, okay. Thank you for attending and welcome to a Affiliate Summit. Today I'm going to share with you some of my strategies and inside tips of how I've built a six-figure blog over the last 2 years. I'm going to give away something that I've not given away anywhere else that has led to a lot of that revenue. So please don't share that out of this room because I like making money with it. So first of all, I'm going to start by talking a little bit about myself. I'm 27 or 8 years old now. I've lost a year somewhere. But I started online when I was 13, just writing content for a website called Nintendo Files as a volunteer. I was a bit of a nerdy kid, still am, playing games and everything. And everything's really grown from there. When I started, I didn't know you could make money online. I got into competitive gaming and built my first website to bring the community together to share videos with each other. This was before YouTube existed. And at that point, I actually had a paper round just to fund the server. I was that kid. I moved into the corporate world and led marketing campaigns for Samsung, Walmart, and some other big international brands like that. But the corporate world really didn't fit with me very well. I was always in trouble with HR and was told I was too passionate about what I do to work in a corporate environment. So in the end, I took the leap in 2010 and I built a six-figure blog across 14 months. That's what my blog looks like if you haven't seen it before. Very simple and strong branding. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the talk. The blog was launched on August the 1st, 2012. And you can see the 2-year success there. In the first month, it made $605, which grew to $4,000 in month 2. Now, what really blows my mind about blogging and the online world is in 1 year alone, people spent over 2 million minutes watching my content. That means in 1 year, people spent 4 years watching my videos, which just is mind-blowing to me. It's like I'm creating time. And that's really the advantage of having a blog and being able to engage people on complete autopilot. You can also see I've won a number of awards there, including the Best Affiliate Blog of Affiliate Summit last year, which is pretty much why I'm stood here right now. And that was a good award to win because I managed to beat some of the people I've looked up to for many years. So it was a real pivotal point for me and really meant a lot. So that's why I'm here. Traffic has grown substantially since I launched the blog. In its second year, it grew 4 times year on year, and I'm going to show you various things that I've done to do that and how you can apply those to your own blogs as well. So who here actually has a blog right now? Okay. Who makes a full-time living from their blog? Okay, just kind of on the brink. Okay, so you have a blog that drives traffic to your other business and then the revenue is generated from that. Perfect, that's a perfect model to go after. So, one of the biggest things that I get from the blog, more than anything else, more than any of the profit and everything else, is the feedback people give. And some of the testimonials you get from people that help change and shape people's lives is absolutely amazing. And these are coming in on a daily basis now. And that's really drives the heart and soul of the blog for me. It really validates what I do and makes me feel good about what I'm doing. When I started the blog, I decided to just follow my passion. I realized that what I was doing every day as an internet marketer was actually really helpful to other people. And if I just recorded what I was doing and published that, it wouldn't take that much time to do and was just making a better use of my time and things that I was already doing. That really exploded very quickly. And luckily for me, the timing when I launched the blog was about right because there was a lot of misinformation out there. There was a lot of blogs in the internet marketing world and a blogger niche just started posting a lot of low quality guest posts, so the overall quality of information out there wasn't very good, and I knew people really wanted the nitty-gritty details and really how to put the different pieces of the puzzles together. So that's what I set out to do. Also, at the same time, I'm an SEO at heart. I'm a black hat SEO, really. I like spamming stuff. I like breaking all of Google's rules and playing the cat and mouse game. And Matt Cutts always gives the advice that you shouldn't do that. You should publish high quality content and really drink the Google juice. So I decided, okay, let's try that with this blog. Let's see what happens if I build a blog that provides the content, has no link building whatsoever, and see what happens. It turns out that Matt Cutts doesn't talk out of his arse as much as I'd like him to, and it does actually work. When you start your blog, you should be looking to define your blog's purpose, and that is something I did from day one before I even registered my domain name. And I find that many people are in a rush to build a site and get it making money, and they don't really spend much time on planning so much, and that's what a big part of this talk's going to be about, is how to plan properly to extract as much value as possible. I tend to find that people that start a blog with the sole purpose of making money from it never make any money. You really should start your blog from your passion and your interest and grow from there. And defining your blog's purpose is the first stage of doing that. I decided to think about, what do I want other people to say about my blog? When people are talking about it, what light is it going to be casting? And I define my blog's purpose as when someone asks for help on a forum, my tutorials will be shared to help. And that challenged me on a number of angles. First of all, I had to create the very best content on the web to really engage people. And secondly, it needed to engage people that much that they actually used that to win an argument on a forum. If they were saying, which is best, Ahrefs, Majestic SEO, which should I use? I wanted them to use my tutorial to win that argument. So that's where I started, and that's still the purpose today. So preparation is victory. I'm going to talk a lot about preparation, and it's something that you should all focus on before you do anything. And you need a good logo, branding, a content strategy, a promotion strategy, and more importantly than anything else, set up the blog to extract as much value as possible. And we'll be talking about what value is and how to do that a little bit later on. So with logo and branding, I spent a couple of days thinking about what kind of colors I want to use. As you can see, I've got the strong blue, black, and pink there. It doesn't really work, but it kind of does work as well. It did take me a full day to come up with that 3-color palette, believe it or not. And having that brand and the logo as well, it really helps you set you apart from the competition. And first impressions count. You want people to remember you and have that impact. So making sure you have a strong brand is very important. I also went with a personal logo, which is a caricature of myself, just to give it that more personal feel and step away from the kind of corporate vibe that often you find in the internet marketing world. The biggest and, well, most important part of your blog is your content strategy. Your content really defines everything about your blog. It's why people keep coming back. And just like a TV channel, you'll only watch a TV channel if the programs are actually engaging. You know, Spike TV, they're a bit budget, and some of the programs appeal to a certain audience. And just the same with the blog, the content you create is essentially it's entertainment, and that entertainment needs to be on point. My content strategy is completely based around problem solving. So the internet is a really great tool. It allows us to find out what people want, and really all we have to do is give it to them. A lot of people complicate this, but it really doesn't need to be complicated. Just browse around on forums. People are telling you what they want. They're telling you what they want to hear. They're telling you what problems they're facing. That is a perfect content strategy. Just engage those people and create the content that solves those problems. On top of that, when I'm thinking about a problem to solve, I just Google around what other people have written, take a look what's currently in the top 10 results, make some notes about what you like about the different pieces of content that's there and what you don't like. And that will really allow you to kind of find a path up the middle and create the very best content on the web. And that links back into defining your site's purpose and making sure the content that you create is good enough to be shared by other people. So the best way to start with a content strategy, and exactly how I started with my blog, was to find 5 problems that were hot topics in the niche and solve the problems. Create the content that solves those problems immediately. And I will later on tell you about the first content series that I launched to make the biggest bang possible and how you can do the same. The promotion strategy, again, just like the content strategy, keep it simple. There's no need to engage in all of these different mad methods to drive traffic to your site and all of these secret tricks and tips. It's basic. Live where your audience lives. In the internet marketing world, the audience tends to live on Twitter and on forums. So that's where I live. I'm engaged in the communities themselves. The main forums that I participate on are Warrior Forum, Black Hat World, and Traffic Planet. That's where I find the problems to solve, and that's where I engage people with the solutions, which is usually content published on the blog, or if I haven't got content available at that moment, I will just write a detailed reply, file that away, which will become a future blog post later on, because I know that is a problem that needs solving and people will be searching for that solution. When you're living where your audience lives, it's very important that you give more than you take. I've tried to teach this strategy to a lot of different people, and what tends to happen is they'll join a forum, they'll write 2 sentences and put their link to their website, the post gets deleted, their account gets terminated, and they tell me I'm stupid. So really make sure you're giving to a community before you start trying to funnel the traffic away and build those relationships with people. Different niches have different forums. If you use boardreader.com, you can do a search for your niche and find out all of the different forums. Boardreader.com, yeah. And just do a search for your niche. You'll find some forums that you can participate in. And register straight away, even if you don't think you're going to start posting straight away, just because having a registered date that's in the past sort of gives you that bit more authority and that bit more leeway when you're dropping your links to your own content and sites. And make friends with the moderators, that really helps. As part of the planning, you also need to think about your tone of voice. Now, different niches require a different tone of voice. One thing that is important to note is in this modern world, people are short of time. They don't have the attention span that they used to 10 years ago. No one's watching a TV anymore. They're on a laptop and tablet, and they have everything, all of these distractions. So when you're writing your content, keep it short. Don't make it boring corporate talk. To the point. If I write a blog post and it's 2,000 words, usually after I finish editing it, it's down to around 1,000, 1,200, saying exactly the same, just in a lot less words. And this really helps keep people engaged with you and coming back and just taking that bite-sized content away that's really actionable and helpful to them without taking too much away from their time, their kids, their family, or anything else like that. Try and show your personality and show your personality when you're writing. Don't be afraid to throw in a few swear words here and there, or, people want to be educated and entertained at the same time, so do that. A lot of corporate blogs, they try to adopt the blogging strategy, and you find that it's just boring. It's really just dribble that just keeps going on and on and on. And when I worked in the corporate world, it's something I didn't really fit well with was the corporate talk. If I thought someone was an idiot, I'd tell them. And that's why I've pretty much lived in HR for the most part. So I want to talk about what is value. Now, value is something that every visitor of your blog can offer. And when most people think about what value can a visitor offer, they just purely think about the money. How much money can I make from these people? But there are all different types of value that a user can offer you. And okay, they might not make you a commission straight away, but they might share their content with someone else, which brings more people. They might leave a comment if you user-generated content, or ultimately subscribe to your blog. Now, most people are focused on the money here, but when I look at that list of value, I order it in this priority. I believe that a full-time subscription is the absolute biggest commitment that any one person can give you. They're giving you permission to invade their personal lives at will. Whether that's through an email or through a social update, they're giving you permission to invade their lives. And that's something you really need to treat with respect. Social shares is second on the list. This brings you new traffic, but it also brings you social signals, which allows you to rank higher in Google, again, bringing you new traffic and feeding the entire funnel. User-generated content is something else that I place very high importance on, just because if someone makes a comment on the post, it brings the freshness of the post up. From a Google perspective, you've got fresher content there. When it comes to reindex it, that helps boost it up. But it also gives you new words and terms that you can be found by. And new traffic by sharing content with others. Some guys email me saying that my friend told me about your site or your tutorial while we were having a drink. We were in a restaurant. They sent it to me via email. All of this all helps to feed that overall funnel of value. And last but not least, for me, affiliate clicks and sales is what I care about less than anything else. That all comes naturally over time. If you take care of the subscribers and treat people with that respect, eventually the clicks and sales will flow naturally. There's no need to force that on people, but that seems to be what a lot of people focus on. So subscribers are king. They're absolutely the king of any business. Anyone who joins your list, you can reach instantly at the click of the button. Whether that's 500 people or 20,000 people, it takes exactly the same amount of time to reach each of those people. And once they've given you that permission to invade their life, you need to treat that with respect. I will never send an affiliate offer or any kind of commercial offer to my list. The only time I send an email is when I've got new content to share that solves a problem. Sometimes that content does require an affiliate purchase, but most of the time it doesn't. And treating people like that means my emails are always opened, they never get ignored, and I try to leave people hungry for that next email. When they see my name in the inbox, I want them to be hungry to open that email. Not, oh, is this just going to be a long-form sales letter for something else I'm going to buy? I want them to be excited about what they're going to learn. And that's how I treat all of the subscribers. If you start sending affiliate offers to everyone, people aren't going to stop opening your emails, and then what's the point of going to all that effort to get people to subscribe in the first place? You really need to treat them with respect. It's easy to say, I have a list of 5,000 people, and get lost in that number, but that 5,000 is 5,000 actual real people sat in front of their computer that you're having an effect on mentally. And when you think about it like that, you get a much more personal touch from it. Subscribers are the lifeline of the blog, really. It gives me the instant ability to create a wave of traffic to any post that I want, and I can really control people's attention. The main reason I get people on my list, though, is not to send them my new content, but it's to get them to be completely engaged with my autoresponder funnel. And I have over a year's worth of pre-written emails that keeps people constantly engaged with my brand on complete autopilot. This allows for a constant flow of new user-generated content, social shares, and of course, a steady flow of profit. Getting subscribers, as part of your planning, you really need to think about how I'm going to get subscribers. My entire blog is set up with one goal in mind, and that is to get people to subscribe. And you can see here some of the opt-in forms that I use. The Get My Latest Post is at the top of the sidebar. Subscribe to my award-winning blog now actually follows people down the page as they're reading tutorials, so it's constantly in their face. The one in the bottom left corner there is inline. I will put that, if I've just made a key point in a blog post or a key point of education, I will put that underneath there. So at the time when they're like, oh, that's amazing. Okay, now subscribe. And I want to catch people while in that moment. I also have it at the end of posts, although that tends to get buried away as people are distracted leaving comments and everything like that, because that's another avenue I'm trying to push people down. And if they do leave a comment, there is a plugin called Comment Redirect, when someone comments on your blog for the first time, you can redirect them to any page you choose. This is the page that I redirect them to. I thank them for the comment, I engage them, and then get them to subscribe. That page converts at 80% without fail, every month. So every time that leaves a comment for the first time, they come and become a subscriber. And subscribers are king. Once someone subscribes to the blog, they confirm their email address, and I say, thank you for signing up. There's an old sort of methodology in the internet marketing world that once someone has taken action once, they will take action again. So at this point, you can extract more value from the readers by just asking them to follow you on a social network or whatever action it is you want them to take. For me, I go with Google Plus because I believe that in the future, Google are going to bring authorship and your presence on Google Plus to really influence your rankings a lot. So I'm trying to build as many followers as I can now for when that switch happens. Some people say it's already happened. It's up for debate, really. But there's no doubt, they're collecting that data for a reason. And eventually they will use that. Once people are on the email list, they go through my email engagement sequence, which you can see a preview of there. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about that now. And this is why subscribers are king. The first email that goes out to my new subscribers welcomes them to the blog and also sets their expectations. It tells them what they're going to get by being subscribed and what they're going to miss if they unsubscribe. At the same time, it also introduces them to follow me on other social profiles, usually using words along the lines, I love to put a face to a name, please follow me on a social network and say hi. And a lot of people do that. I then have relationship building emails. The second email that goes out is literally subject, how can I help you? Ask me anything. A lot of the blogs in the internet marketing world really just push on people. They're just constantly pushing and pushing and pushing. So before I've pushed anything, I'm giving to them immediately. And that relationship building email, how can I help you? Ask me anything, started to cause me a lot of problems. Once you start getting 100 subscribers a day, that's a lot of work to answer. And it became a big problem for me. I was getting up at 6 in the morning, spending 4 or 5 hours just to answer those emails and create that initial relationship with people. That eventually came to a head and I had to make a change, and I'm going to talk about what that change was later on and how I recovered from that and managed to extract value from something that's usually just buried away in a private email conversation. Another part of the email engagement sequence is to get new content ideas. I will send an email out and just say to people, what tutorial do you want me to make next? Tell me. And it's amazing the replies that you get from people of what problems they're facing that you wouldn't really think of. And especially if someone's new to it, I've been doing this for a long time, so for me, I don't see some of the problems that someone new coming into it sees. And likewise, someone new coming into it now is different from when I came into it years ago. So there's problems that exist now that I wasn't even aware of. So having that engagement go out to people and they come back and respond to and tell you what they want, it's the perfect model. People are telling you what they want, you just got to give it to them. And that goes back to that content strategy of just keeping it simple and going from there. I also ask people further towards the, halfway through the email engagement sequence for testimonials. And this comes in 2 different ways. One, I will just send an email out saying, what do you like about the blog? Please tell me one thing you don't like, one thing you do like, and one thing you change immediately. Just quick sentences. People reply to that, and that has really helped shape the growth of the blog, and there's a number of changes I've made to the blog based off that feedback. It takes people 30 seconds to do. It's not long, it's just a short email, possibly 50 words maximum, and the responses you get from that, you can't put a value on that. It's really something else. The other one is through testimonials. The testimonials that we looked at earlier on of how the blog has helped change people's lives or helped change their business. That comes from an email that goes out, please tell me how the blog has helped you. Those testimonials are then reused and help feed that entire funnel because when people see that you're helping so many people, they instantly want to have that engagement with you and read through your content. The most important part of the email engagement sequence above anything else, though, is breathing life into old content. The problem with blogs is quite often your best content gets buried away into some of the deeper pages, and it's very hard for people to find, even though it's still relevant. And not everyone is interested in clicking through to page 8 of your blog post to see what you've written. So every week on a Wednesday, I send out an email about an old blog post, but position it if it's new. What this does is it means that on complete autopilot, every single post across the entire blog is getting a steady share of social signals, people sharing it on Twitter and Facebook. It's getting new comments, which helps bring the freshness algorithm of Google. So when Google comes to revisit you, it sees that there's new content, it takes advantage of the freshness algorithm, and there's a lot of new words and long tail phrases which you can be found for from those comments. On top of that, it brings a steady flow of affiliate clicks and sales across every single post on the blog every week on a Wednesday. And the traffic on a Wednesday always has a huge spike. So whereas blog posts would typically be just sat to rot away in the background, once they're written, they have sort of a weak shelf life, they get pushed off that first page. Now, I use them to keep people engaged with my blog and my brand on complete autopilot for over a year. Every single week, they get an email with that. That really is why subscribers are king and why you should focus on building the number of subscribers your blog has rather than focusing on how much money it's making or how many affiliate clicks you are getting. Next, let's talk about social shares. This is the second most important thing to me on my blog. When people share the content, not only does it bring new traffic directly from those social networks, but having those social signals, again, from a Google perspective, it's up for debate on how much social signals actually help your ranking. Personally, I know you can rank websites with just social signals as part of what I'm going to share with you later on, along with one of the strategy that I've used to make the most money with this blog. A lot of people make a couple of mistakes with social sharing. They make it hard to do. For me, it's visible, it's right at the end. I've got a little arrow there at the end that's pointing to it. And quite often you find that people try to use different social icons and move away from the default icons. Much like in the 90s, how people started to become, well, the early 2000s started to become blind to banners. They became psychologically trained to ignore them. People are psychologically trained to see those buttons. So use the default designs for those buttons. People see them, they're looking for them, and if you don't see them, they're not going to click on share. Another way I drive social signals to the blog is by creating exclusive resources, videos, or a PDF copy of the post that supports the overall post. And I do that behind a social locker. So on that social locker is from a link building tutorial. The tutorial teaches them different elements of link building and how they can do it, and then they have the supporting resources that they can get if they share on a social network. Again, more traffic, the social signals, and people really love those extra resources. If you don't have the time to create the extra resources, or there isn't really anything that you can offer, you can just make a PDF version of the post for people to download. You can use a Chrome extension called Print Friendly PDF. You click one button, you click download, you have a PDF copy of your post instantly available. Put that behind a social locker, and people, I don't know why, but people really like that. And that's something you're starting to see a lot of blogs in this niche do now. It's really effective and takes 10 seconds to do. The next part of your planning should be to create a forum. Now, we talked about user-generated content like comments and how that helps you get found by more key phrases and more words and plays on that freshness algorithm. The forum was also created as a solution to the problem with the emails I was getting. When I was offering personal one-on-one help to every single new subscriber, I was spending hours a day And not really, although it was creating the relationship with that subscriber, and at that point I really had them for life, it didn't offer any more value past that. So I started to think, how can I get more value from that time? And that was to create a forum. By creating the forum and getting people to ask the questions there, that was created. Every time someone asks a question, it creates a new page on my site. It's a new page to be found for by Google when people are searching for long-tail terms. And it really takes advantage of the recent Google Hummingbird update, which changes how queries are processed. People before, they would type in, buy car. Now they're typing in how to buy a new car online easily. The queries are now much more complex, and Hummingbird took advantage of that and really boosted problem-solving content. And seeing as a forum is asking people what their problems are, and then I'm jumping in and solving those problems, it's perfect. It feeds itself. Previously, that content was tucked away in an email and not offering me any value whatsoever. Now, it's bringing me new traffic. As you can see, nearly 500,000 page views in the last year for something that was previously just buried away. So if you have a blog, create a forum. It also gives people a reason to keep coming back to your blog time and time again. Having that community feeling really helps people feel that they're part of something, and I really do want them to keep coming back. That's how the whole blog and revenue is driven. On top of that, I use a plugin that automatically replaces anytime someone says, ask me a question about Ultimate Daemon, it will replace the words Ultimate Daemon with an affiliate link to Ultimate Daemon. And that's how I monetize that advice. That plugin is called Thirsty Affiliates. It is a premium plugin, but it does integrate with the bbPress forum software that I use on WordPress really easily, and adds all of your Google Analytics tracking as well. So having that forum, new ways to be found, more traffic, and more commission. On top of that, you're creating a tighter relationship with your subscribers, so they'll keep coming back to your brand time and time again. When I launched the blog, I spent all of that time on the preparation first. A lot of people rush out to try and they just build a site, throw up a blog post, and instantly they're trying to get traffic, build links to it, and really move forward with it as quick as they can. Once you have put the time into setting up the blog properly to extract the value that we've just been speaking about, at that point you are ready to launch, not before. It's no good launching a blog that is not set up to extract as much value as possible from every single visitor. You only have one chance to make a first impression, and that first impression has to count. Equally, you only have one chance to extract that value from people. You need to make that count. When you have done that, you are ready to launch. For me, back in 2012, tiered link building was becoming a hot topic. Browsing around the forums, looking around for ideas for content and problems to solve, it kept coming up time and time and time again. What I noticed is people, although they were saying how they were doing it, they weren't really showing how to do it, if that makes sense. People were just giving very general and vague advice. No one was getting to the real nitty-gritty of how to set things up and make everything work together. Everyone understood the pieces of the puzzle, but they didn't understand how to put the puzzle together. So I decided that was going to be the topic that I launched with to make the biggest bang possible. I broke it down into a 6-part series that took 100 to 120 hours to create. I can't quite remember. I worked heart and soul on it, 12, 16 hours a day for nearly 2 weeks just to get it ready and up to the standard that I wanted it to be. At the time, I showed a couple of people the videos before I launched them, and people told me I was stupid to give them away for free. They said I should put it together as a product and sell it directly. I thought that was a very short-sighted view, going back to bringing all the subscribers and hitting that first impression. If I launch this for free, I knew that that first impression would be a lasting impression and is something that I could use to get the hook into people and get them to subscribe forever. And even to this day, it's one of the most popular posts on the blog. month in, month out, without fail. So I published it completely free of charge, despite being told I was crazy, and then engaged my audience directly with the content. So all of the discussions I'd seen in the forum where people were asking questions and where they were stuck and I was taking notes of which areas to cover and the problems to solve, I just went back into those same forums, replied to people, helping them, offering them advice, and ultimately sliding in a link to my tutorial. I started doing that on the Traffic Planet forums, and everything really blew up from there. As you can see there, so far, since I published that in the first week of August 2012, it's had over 170,000 visitors and 1 year and 4 months spent watching that series. Likewise, it's generated over $60,000 in commission to this day, which is not a bad going for 100 hours work. That also really set the stage for everything then. Once I had done everything to that standard and that quality, I'd really set the bar for myself and was something that I had to keep on going with. So when you're going to launch your blog, make sure you do launch it with a bang. Don't just write blog posts for the sake of writing blog posts. Find out what's really motivating your audience right now and target that. Make it the best content on the web. Make it so people are falling all over themselves to share it with, or even to the point that it's so good they don't want to share it in case a competitor see it. Really put time and effort into making that first impression. You only have one chance at that. So there are various types of content that I publish on the blog. And my favorite type of content are tutorials and case studies. The reason for that is primarily it creates that teacher and student relationship. That's a very powerful relationship to have with someone, even virtually. If you're teaching someone something, they really create a connection with you. And that's a connection that you can really use for the lifetime of your blog. Also, when it comes to the point that there is a product to buy, people don't question that. They just buy it. They look up to you as a teacher. If you say that they need it, they need it. And I've noticed that in a lot of the affiliate programs I promote, the feedback I get is that I send them some of the most high-quality, engaged traffic in the industry. And that is all because of that teacher-student relationship and the amount of time that I put in to creating that relationship with people, all the way from that very first email of how can I help them. Tutorials and case studies are also very shareable. People love sharing that, whether it is just sharing it by clicking the like button, or in a forum, they see someone asking, how do I do this? They remember the tutorial they've read, and then they share it for you. Your audience almost becomes your own army of traffic machine, if you like, constantly referring new people to your site to solve their problems. It really does work well. The other type of content that I like to create are product reviews. Now, I noticed that most product reviews just focus on what a product does. Not very often do you find a review that shows people how to use it in a real-world situation. So when I'm creating a product review, I'm trying to make sure that not only am I looking at what the product does, I'm showing people how they can apply that to their situation right now to solve their problems in the real nitty-gritty detail. All of the options, all of the tick boxes, why you have to do this, why it has to be like that, and really going into a lot of detail to explain how it all fits together. This has come to the point where now companies that have a product, instead of creating a manual, they just ask me to create the tutorial for them. Because even it seems that the companies that create the products don't really understand their product and how it fits into the real world situation. So that has opened up a lot of opportunities, and now I create a few videos for different companies and their products. Competitions. This is something that I've not really spoken about publicly and is a strategy responsible for the majority of the income on the blog. and I'd appreciate if it stayed in this room. The competitions work like this. I approach a company and ask them for some prizes to give away. Usually a couple of licenses for some software, a lifetime membership to their website, or whatever it might be. At the same time, I ask them if they can provide me an exclusive discount that is valid for 3 days only. Of course, I still take an affiliate commission, less of commission than I would do without the discount, but I still take a good commission. Once I have those two things, I have everything that I need to create a competition that not only brings profit initially, but for the lifetime of the blog. And this is how it works. When you launch the competition, you're essentially building a list of people that are interested in that product. Anyone that enters your competition are basically saying, I want that product. So, with that in mind, people give me their email address to enter the competition. They get taken then to a page that tells them to tweet about the competition, which brings new entries into the entire flow of the system. But where the twist comes is with the competition page, I will initially create it as a product review. The URL of the page will be content-machine-review. People enter the competition, they share the page, which gives social signals to that review page. But right now, it's got competition content on it. At the end of the competition, I close it down, I announce a winner. When I announce a winner, I also announce the 3-day exclusive discount. The sales go crazy at that point, and I mean crazy. Once that is done, and sorry if I just look at my notes, the Content Machine competition, for example, was the first one that I created, has driven over 50,000 views and $60,000 in profit. At the end of the competition, once all the dust has settled down on it, I rip out the competition content from the page and replace it with a full product review. It's a bit of a bait and switch, and the reason I do that is for Google. Google will then suddenly see a review for some software that has a bunch of comments on the page and also a bunch of social signals. Tweeting about the page is a requirement to enter the competition. When the competition content is there, Google doesn't pay it much attention, but when you swap it out for the full-blown review, and the URL already has the words review in it, not only have you extracted all of that profit and built your list from the competition, but that page ranks on the first page of Google for the remainder of time. And if you look at any of the competitions I've run, Content Machine, Ultimate Demon, SEO Power Suite, I'm ranking number 1 and 2 across the board for just either the product name alone or the product name plus review. So the competitions bring me new traffic, build my subscribers, bring a lot of profit, and lifetime traffic from Google, and again, continued commissions. It's something that I do every month. I'm about to announce a competition winner on Monday for the best spinner, and the commissions will flow from that. Spend time doing that in your niche, and you can very quickly grow not only your list, but your traffic as well. The other types of content I like to do are controversial, and this is a very fine line to walk. You can either have it blow up in your face or go really well. So Majestic SEO, for example, I did a little test just comparing the best backlink checkers. Again, it was an argument I saw in forums. I wanted people to win the argument with my content. I just did a little test to see. It was Ahrefs, Majestic SEO, SEO Spyglass, and some of the other small ones, just to see who had the biggest database. The Majestic SEO CEO at the time, the marketing CEO, Dixon Jones, didn't like the fact that he came second to Ahrefs and made some off-the-cuff comments online. So I decided, perfect, I'm now going to take the Majestic Million, which is the million domains Majestic SEO know the most about, and see if their competitor, Ahrefs, knows more about them than Majestic does. Turns out they did. That post was very controversial. It went viral. It caused a bit of a scuff between me and Majestic SEO Online, but ultimately it brought new people in, it brought new subscribers, and it brought a lot of commission. It could have gone the other way. WP Engine, a post that went completely crazy. WP Engine used to be my web host. After 9 months of completely letting me down, being slow, making excuses, false promises for the CEO, deleting customer data without taking a backup, a huge amount of problems. At the end of it, I gave them 9 months to solve the problems. They didn't do anything about it. So I published everything in completely full transparency, speed tested them against a competitor, which was faster. It was 4 times faster at half the price. That content went crazy. I had some very awkward conversations with the CEO of WP Engine, but I gave them every chance in the world to fix things, and they didn't do that. In the end, I managed to capitalize off that and drive a lot of new customers to another host. Regular features I publish every month without fail. Income reports tells you everything that I've done for that month, why I did it, and how you can do the same. It tells you how much traffic I've had, my top traffic sources, the top content, and more importantly, exactly how much I've earned. This serves as a great inspiration to people. Often, people don't really like to talk about how much money they've made and that kind of thing and bury it away. But this has been one of the key drivers to the success of the blog. People get to grow with you on that journey. And you can go on my site, at the top there's income reports, and you can read the very first one from day 1 all the way up to the current day. I publish on the 1st of the month without fail. I also do income report roundup. We have a little bit of a competition with other bloggers that publish income reports and rank blogs and base how they're earning. One of the top earning blogs is in a niche that everyone says you can't make money in, which is food, pinchofyum.com. They're doing around $22,000 a month right now. You should check them out as a blogger. Take a look at how they do things, how they structure things in a niche that is not possible to monetize, apparently. There's a lot of lessons to be learned. Pinchofyum.com. Pinchofyum.com. Y-U-M. Yum. Yes, you can see all of that. Lastly, what I have read posts. Across the month, if I find a post that's interesting, I just bookmark it in Evernote and then put a list together of what I've been reading. This serves 2 purposes. One, the readers like to know what I've been reading, what I've been learning, and it helps them to grow and learn as well. Secondly, it creates relationships with other bloggers because you're linking to them and sending them traffic. Both of those work together very nicely. So those regular features serve to inspire people, educate people, and create relationships. If you follow that basic content strategy of finding problems in your niche and solving them, engaging your audience directly, all you need to do is rinse and repeat that process. Every week, I try and write 2 posts that solve problems and send those out to the audience. And that is all I have done consistently since the blog was launched. It doesn't need to be complicated. Everything that I do with my blog and in business and in life, just keep it simple. The old saying, keep it simple, stupid, it's a great saying to live and die by. There's no need to overcomplicate things. Listen to your readers. They're telling you what they want. All you have to do is give it to them. It's no more complicated than that. So, to wrap it up, spend time planning and preparing your blog. I can't stress how important that is. Don't just rush out to create a blog for the sake of creating a blog to make money. Spend time setting up your blog to extract as much value as possible. Remember, subscribers are king. Don't be afraid to bombard them with opt-in forms. If you look at my About Me page, there's a total of 11 opt-in forms on there. It might sound like too much, but the page converts, and once I've got people on the email engagement sequence, I've got them for life. Make sure you create the very best content on the web. You need to stand out. It is a crowded marketplace. And you'll find, if you start looking in your niches and Googling around, you'll find that actually people don't really put that much effort into the content. A lot of the biggest blogs out there, the content is often lacking. Just identify those weaknesses and go straight up the middle and create the very best content. It might take a bit of time. It takes me on average between 8 and 16 hours to create each blog post, but it's worth every second. Every time I create a blog post, it is a business asset that stays with me for the rest of my life. So spend time creating as many business assets as possible. Find out what people want and give it to them, and just keep it simple. I have put together a page with some additional resources and links to help you out. Unfortunately, only having an hour to talk, I can't really go into the detail I would like to go into, but if you hit that page, it's there. Equally, join my email list, ask me anything that you want. I will take time to personally help you out and answer all of your questions, no matter how much detail that requires. So, we've got just under 5 minutes left. I'm wondering, does anyone have any questions at all? We'll go. Yeah.
You mentioned that it became too difficult for you to be able to answer all the questions coming in through email, so you created a forum.
Mm-hmm.
How do you then take the people who are sending email questions and direct them there without them being offended that you're not just giving them the answers right now?
Okay, immediately. So in the email that goes out, if you join the email list, you'll see it. It'll be, how can I help you? Ask me anything. Within that email, it directs people into the forum. Now, how that has helped save me time is because of the community that's being created. More often than not, the other readers will answer the question. At the back, sorry.
It sounds like your constituents are very engaged in your emails.
Yes.
I send a lot of emails. I was curious for the emails you sent, if you mind sharing your open and click your engagement rates.
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you that. The open rate's around 70 to 75%. In terms of how many people actually then come, I don't know. When I send an email and look at the live Google Analytics, it often jumps to 200 people within seconds. So, yes, please.
I'm looking here at your income in 2012, and I see, how did you jump from 605 in August to like 4,000 a month?
Okay, so the income month 1 was $600. Month 2 was $4,000. That was the launch of a competition. So going back to that competition model that we were talking about, I created that model at the end of the first month. I launched it in the second month. And that was a big part of the income in that month. Yes, WordPress. Yes, yeah. Yes?
Do you use an automated software product for your emails?
Yes, for the emails, I use Aweber. That takes care of all of the follow-up series for me.
What was what you mentioned what automatically created the text links?
Yes. So on the forum, when someone writes about a product, it gets the name of the product gets replaced with an affiliate link. That is a plugin called Thirsty Affiliates. There's a number of plugins that do that and replace text with links, but the only one I found that works in the forum situation is Thirsty Affiliates. Anyone else? Terry?
Do you have problems with forum spam and fake accounts?
Yes, forum spam and fake accounts is a problem. People are always hitting up the forum. All I do is when I publish my income report on the 1st, there's a plugin called Wang Guard, which sounds a bit rude, but it's not. It will go through and check all of the people registered for your forum against the spam databases and delete them. Sometimes it brings a false positive. I accidentally deleted someone that had like 70 posts on the blog. They weren't very happy about that, but I just recovered that from a backup. Any other questions? Yes, sir?
Talking about affiliates, how do you actually find good affiliates to work with? And actually, when you convert these various links to affiliate profit, how does it happen? How do you find these affiliates that you actually, like you said, Thirsty Affiliate, basically you're able to have various links turn into cash for you or income for you. How do you actually find these affiliates?
Okay. So to find the affiliates, I am the affiliate. So I'm taking my readers, passing them through the affiliate link and taking a commission on the sale. So I'm not finding affiliates. I'm just engaging people and building a relationship with them, solving their problems. And usually 1 in 5 posts there is a commercial solution, if you like. Sometimes the best solution is a free solution. Sometimes it's a paid solution. I don't really pay a huge amount of attention to that, but it's that relationship that I've created that pushes people through to buy the product. Is why people are so engaged.
So when it's called an affiliate and it's yourself, so how does the money come in? They just have to do another link, another click on something else?
Yes, the money is tracked through the affiliate link. When someone clicks on the link, so if someone clicks on my affiliate link to Content Machine knows I sent that person. If that person then buys, the commission is then accredited to myself. Okay? Any other questions? Yes, all the way at the back. Yes. Okay, so the reason the traffic spikes on a Wednesday is because of the email engagement sequence. It's designed to go out on a Wednesday. The reason it goes out on a Wednesday is because on a Monday we're all stressed and catching up with work from the weekend. Tuesday and Wednesday mornings seem to be around the best time in which to send emails. In my experience, it might differ niche to niche. Sometimes niches lend themselves to the weekend more than in the week. For me, Tuesday and Wednesday mornings between 9 and 11 a.m. But I have mine on a Wednesday. And have we got time for another question? Yes, one more question. Yes?
What are the ways to monetize?
What are the ways to monetize? Good ways to monetize. The best way to monetize your traffic is to forget about the money. Completely forget about it. Just focus on the relationship with people. Craft that relationship. Create the teacher-student relationship with them. And nurture them. If they've got a question, take the time to help people. People really appreciate that. You know, it's almost a form of gypsy marketing. How gypsies used to take advantage of people and get them to do things like breaking the law that they'd never do, was a gypsy would do someone a favor first. And then when the gypsy says, oh, can you do this for me? You couldn't say no. And it's kind of the same thing here. Focus on that relationship and then worry about the money will just flow naturally afterwards. Okay, so thank you all for coming. I think we've got to wrap it up now. Thank you very much.